We know it's always been so hard for so many, usually it's women and children, who are finding themselves in those situations. So we must reach out to them. We must remind them that there is help. I think that's the most important thing. But you know what?
What is the help right now? Is it only over the phone?
Well, it's in all of the domestic violence hotlines that are there, all those services, certainly hotlines, they're all there. Any mental health service line will help. And I think the other thing we have to remember is to be there for each other. I think it's behoving on us to kind of keep an extra eye out for something that might be concerning.
I'm sorry to push you on this, but is
please
that
do.
sufficient? I mean, there are clearly going to be women and children in danger.
There are.
Essentially in enclosed spaces for a prolonged period of times right now. Is saying call a hotline enough?
It's not enough in and of itself. This is why I think, let me turn it around and say the biggest thing we can do is be alert. All of these women, all of these children do live in communities, and we can't know always, but you know what, sometimes the antenna are there. We can hear loud voices, we can see concerns. So we have to do what we can to strengthen them and encourage them, make it public, make it part of our conversation, how important it is to reach out. But I call on all Australians, we have to keep out looking for each other to see what is happening behind those closed doors. And if we've got a concern, it's better to reach out and ask.
Julie McCrossen, what did you make of the news that of all the services and facilities that would remain open, one would be bottle shops?
Look, I was deeply disturbed by the fact that bottle shops are being called an essential service, because while alcohol is not the only cause of domestic violence, it is often a practical trigger. But could I just say, for women and children in homes right now, we are not going to get a vaccine for this virus for at least 18 months. It could well be longer. We cannot leave women and children alone in homes where perpetrators can think no one can get in here because they're too afraid to come in because they might get the virus. And so access to protective clothing, protective masks, training in how to enter homes safely is as important for the police, the non-government services, the Red Cross, the organisations that are in local communities who may be able to reach into the private home is absolutely essential. And that goes, of course, to people who are...
Can I ask you, though, bluntly, Julie, is it enough for our government to say there are some hotlines, you can call them?
Well, I'm saying no. I don't think children and women, and I want to particularly focus on children, but obviously women as well, they cannot be considered to be safe. We know, unless people can come into the home and give them the opportunity to let people know what's happening. We can't just leave them alone in those houses. The evidence is in pandemics like this, domestic violence increases. We know that. It's extraordinarily stressful for people. And so access to protective gear so police and others can go into homes is absolutely crucial.
Look, I think one thing to say that's really important here, Julie, that I agree with, is that we need to do so much more than just rely on the hotlines. They're critical. They're critical because they're 24/7, Hamish, and you never know when you've got the opportunity to reach out. Let's not close them down. But what I think Julie's talking about is that more assertive outreach, and that's what I would fully endorse. But I would call not just on police, yes, certainly police, certainly others, but we've all got connecting points with these people. We've all got our antenna. And I think that's what we're really calling for from Australians, is to keep an eye out. Because as you say, Julie, people are feeling trapped and we've got to reach out to them. We know that with so many issues with mental health, you've actually got to reach out to make that connection.